So you want to be a doctor. So you want to go to medical school. There's so many questions that you have and you just don't have the answers, but you really want them. Well, that's what I'm here for. Hey y'all, welcome back to Made It to Medicine with Vix. That's me, and I'm a second year medical student at the University of Illinois College of Medicine on Chicago's campus. And so many of you on YouTube or on Instagram have been asking me questions about like the life of a pre-med student and the road to getting to medical school and just trying to help you right where you are right now. So when I first started Made It to Medicine, the goal was to help out pre-med students so that they didn't have to make the same miscues and mistakes that I made. Doing things by trial and error is a hot mess because it is a lot of money is wasted and spent when this process is already not cost effective. So my goal with today's video is to answer some of the questions that you may have, and if I miss out anything, please be sure to comment down below so we can start a dialogue, a little discourse there. And if there's something else that you want to have addressed, I can make another video answering your questions. All right. So if you haven't done so already, please like the video, subscribe to my channel, and turn your notifications on so you don't miss a beat. Okay. All right. So I'm just gonna jump right in with how did I stay motivated to take the MCAT 5 times? Yes. I said 5 times. What did you do when you just felt like so down and out? Honestly, you have to do what makes you happy. Don't deprive yourself of joy. I think a lot of the times I kind of feel like when I'm studying, well, I don't deserve a break or I don't deserve to watch TV. I don't deserve. Who said that? Who made up these rules? Because you do. You deserve good things too. Like you deserve happiness. You don't deserve to suffer because this road to medicine is extremely long. It's exhausting and it takes a lot out of you. So there's a reason why, or it's very important that you give something back to yourself. During 2020, when I was sitting for the MCAT for the 5th time, I was honestly fed up. I was so tired. I was sick of myself that I had found myself in the same predicament that I previously had been in. I'm like, how could you let this happen once again? Well, girl, it's a global pandemic. You didn't let that happen. Like life happened. You had to, withdraw from a class and you had to step back and retake the MCAT if you wanted to be a more competitive applicant. Like you had to do these things, and it's not necessarily always on you, the circumstances that you find yourself in. Like sometimes stuff just happens, but you do have control over some aspects of your life though. And so during that time, I made sure that I went for a walk or a run every single day. I didn't go anywhere else because the world as we knew it at that moment, like it was over. We didn't know what 2020 was going to bring. I dove back into reading. In March 2020, I read 5 books in that 1 month because I'm just like, look, I haven't had time to read because I've been in these classes. And since I'm not going to start studying for the MCAT again until X amount of time, like why not do the things that I enjoy? I got back into making bubble baths and like just relaxing, listen to podcasts, listen to new music, do something that you like every single day. Find joy in the struggle. Like even now with studying, I do 50 minutes on, 10 minutes off. During my breaks, I'm talking to the people I'm studying with on YouTube. I'm finding joy in that struggle because I'm already studying at home by myself, which can be isolating, but I can still make it enjoyable. Or I'm gonna do my laundry. I'm gonna try to clean up during the break. I'm gonna do something so it's not just, I'm studying and this is what it is. This is how it's gonna be. And when I get to X point, I'll be able to live my life. Or when I get to this point, I'll be able to do all these nice things for myself. Well, I wanna hit you with a harsh reality. Like there's always gonna be something in medicine. Studying for the MCAT sucked. I'm about to start studying for step 1. I'm sure that's gonna suck. Studying for my regular exams in schools, that has sucked. Then after step 1 is shelf exams during my clinical years. Then it's studying for step 2. Then it's worrying about matching. Then after matching, then it's worrying about studying for step 3. It never ends. It literally never ends, so there's no need to deprive yourself of the things that you enjoy right now just to get to the next place, because then the barometer is going to keep changing. Well, okay, when I do this, then I'll start having fun. Or when I become a second year, because I have the footing from a first year underneath me, then I deserve to start hanging out or seeing my family, being with my friends, going on vacation, doing nice things for myself. No, you deserve it right now. Like seriously, you deserve all the good things coming to you, and you deserve to pour into your own cup instead of constantly emptying that cup out. And I mentioned this in one of the very first videos that I posted, but the first few times that I sat for the MCAT, I wasn't ready. I'm not gonna lie, I was just ill prepared. And so it was very much so torture trying to learn everything for an exam that I just had no foundation for. And I lacked mentors or advisors to straight up tell me that you're not ready for this test. Everyone will tell you sit for it when you're ready, but what the heck does when I'm ready mean? What does that look like? So when you're ready means whatever your goal score is, you need to be scoring within that confidence band, at least the 2 to 3 tests before you actually sit for the exam. And so like for me, I wanted to score in the 50th percentile. So my last 2 to 3 practice tests, which were, I believe the last 2 to 3 I took were a AAMC, they needed to be within that, I think it's 499 to 503. And I think the very last one was not, but I was extremely burnt out. But honestly, I wouldn't advise that to anyone, to sit for a test if your score is saying that you're not going to perform well, because how would it have looked if I actually performed worse than I'd previously done? It would have looked like a hot mess. So the rule of thumb is ready means you're scoring within your confidence band 2 to 3 times before the exam, you got it. And how you get there is you got to buy UWorld. UWorld is literally the GOAT of how to ask questions. They're not going to just ask you the right there questions or, a first order question. It's going to ask you second and third order questions of, all right, that gluconeogenesis is the fastest state and glycolysis is the fed state. All right, so what source of energy is the brain going to use when it's in the fastest state? Is it going to use protein? Is it going to use fat? Is it going to use ketone bodies? Okay, because we already know you have that one part down. Let's take it a step further. But even on top of UWorld, WMC writes the exams. So yes, UWorld is amazing, and I highly recommend buying UWorld and the question pack, whatever, while you're studying for the MCAT. But WMC, they are the test writers. You want to understand how they are writing the exam. So if you can afford it, definitely purchase AAMC section banks. And if you think that you qualify for the fee assistance program, please apply to that, because that means you get to apply to 20 schools for free. You get to sign up for the MCAT at a reduced rate at around $185 instead of $360, something around there. So that's cheaper. And when I signed up for it the first time I got it, they sent me free Princeton review books as well. I'm not sure if they're still doing that part, but the point is you're getting some free things and you get access to MSAR, which will tell you every single school, all of the stats of their applicants, the age ranges, the GPAs, the MCAT, all these things, the experience that they have, so that can be pertinent to you. In addition to that, you'll find out which schools will accept the last 32, 40, 50, 60 credits and not just looking at all of your undergrad. More and more schools now are understanding that they're non-traditional applicants. There are students who are not coming directly from undergrad and going straight to medical school. And no shade to those people who are, because shout out to you, because y'all had it all together. I was not one of those people, and that's fine and that's dandy. So some schools are being a little bit more lenient and understanding of the different routes that students may take, and in turn they're going to look at your last X amount of credit hours to consider whether you would be a thriving student at their institution. But in order to find that out, you would need to have MSAR, or you could simply call up to a school, search their website to see if they're one of the schools that do that. I know that not every school does this, so I can't really give you a list, but you can Google it, go to the school's website if you have a specific school that you're interested in, or even just call up the admissions office. Totally okay to do so. And then some people really asked, how did I pay for my post-bac programs? Well, fun fact, Sally Mae. When I went to Drexel in Philadelphia, I found out, because coming from undergrad, I took out no loans. I graduated debt-free. I didn't know anything about loans. I was extremely ignorant. So I knew that I couldn't pay for it completely, and a federal loan wasn't covering all of my semester. After that first semester, they were like, oh, federal loans are no longer going to pay for non-degree seeking certificates. If it's not a degree, we're not paying for it. So I had to take out money from Sally Mae, and her interest is more than double that of a federal loan. If you can avoid Sally Mae at all costs, I would truly say do that, because I'm in so much debt. I owe her so much more than I even took out. It's was it even worth it? I could have stayed living at home with my parents after I graduated, gone to a community college, taken those classes, sat for the MCAT, probably still wouldn't have done well, but at least I would have done it for free, and then moved on. Once I went to Carbondale, I had applied for the Master's of Public Health degree. So again, that's a degree. I got federal loans. And then I got an assistantship the second year where they paid for me to be at school, and I got paid a salary so I could live and such. So the point is, you want to be strategic strategic. You want to ask people who've already been where you are, the steps you're making before you just blindly step out on faith, because that's what I did. I didn't really have anybody to give me any advice, so I was really just talking to my mother, who has a psychology degree or a master's in inner city studies. Like, it's not medicine, it's not science related. So she was just, you know, agreeing with me, saying she supported me, and I don't fault her for that, because we definitely do need a support system. But if you can avoid private loans, avoid them. The federal government is a lot more forgiving, surprisingly, in this case than private loans ever were. So it's making me think, like, maybe I should play the lottery. Maybe I should gamble to pay back Sally Mae, but I don't believe in gambling. Even though this lottery keeps hitting these high numbers, I'm like, ooh, child, maybe I should. But if I could have avoided this, I would have. You know, hindsight is 20/20, but that's what I'm telling you, so that you don't make that same mistake, because it's literally a mess. I have a few other things to talk about in regards to interviews, but I think this video is already long enough. And so I'll set up another video. Maybe I'll start doing like little pre-med corners or pre-med sessions, just to give y'all a little bit more of the tea on the pre-med lifestyle. But just know that you got your big sis Vix always here to help you out. So if you have any questions, you got any comments, you got any concerns, anything else you want to hear from me, please comment it down below. Somebody else might be thinking the same thing, but might be a little bit too shy to say it. But again, like the video if you haven't done so, and I will see y'all next week. Bye.